working to connect a region of over 600 million bridges between our lands.
Good evening, I'm Alma Angeles, and you're watching ASEAN in Focus on tonight's headlines. The Philippine Air Force joined forces with their U.S. counterparts over the weekend for a joint air patrol, displaying their growing collaboration and dedication to regional security. This exercise strengthens ties between the allies and showcases their combined capabilities. The Philippine government is diving into allegations of illegal fishing practices in the Bajo de Masinloc area, also known as the Scarborough Shoal, and reports claim Chinese and Vietnamese fishermen are using harmful cyanide to stun fish, threatening the marine ecosystem and Filipino fishers' livelihoods. Two Taiwanese men are facing 2 years in jail each after staging a fake kidnapping in Cambodia and posting it online. Their actions, described as incitement to cause chaos to social security, drew concern and triggered their arrest and eventual sentencing. The Philippine Air Force teamed up with its U.S. counterparts for a joint air patrol over the weekend, showcasing their growing cooperation and commitment to regional security. 3 PAF FA-50PH jet fighters flew alongside a U.S. Air Force B-52H bomber in the Philippines' exclusive economic zone. The patrol covered a wide area spanning west of Candon, Ilocos Sur, and northwest of Lubang, Occidental Mindoro. This joint activity marks the third Maritime Cooperative Activity, or MCA, between the Philippines and the U.S. this year, following events in November and January. Colonel Maria Consuelo Castillo, PAF spokesperson, said, with this activity, the PAF underscores its commitment and readiness to support the AFP's efforts in safeguarding the national territory and sovereign rights and upholding regional peace and security. This joint air patrol demonstrates the strong partnership between the Philippines and the U.S. in ensuring regional security and maritime safety. Continued collaboration strengthens their capabilities and sends a clear message of their commitment to maintaining a peaceful and stable environment. Meanwhile, tensions flared in the South China Sea once again as the Philippines accused Chinese Coast Guard ships of dangerous actions, blocking a vessel delivering supplies to Filipino fishermen. This follows similar incidents in the past few months, highlighting the ongoing territorial dispute between the two nations. Chinese Coast Guard ships repeatedly blocked a Philippine vessel delivering supplies to fishermen near the disputed Scarborough Shoal.
This is China Coast Guard 3105, patrolling in the sea area of Hongyan Island of the People's Republic of China, in accordance with the law. Please alter your course and leave immediately.
I warn you, do not interfere with our activities inside our exclusive economic zone. I repeat, do not interfere with our activities inside our exclusive economic zone.
This also follows similar accusations made by the Philippine Coast Guard in January. Scarborough Shoal has been a flashpoint between the Philippines and China since 2012 when China seized it. The incident highlights ongoing tensions and harassment of Filipino fishermen by Chinese vessels.
Ika ba? Kasi hindi namin alam na mangyayari. Baka yung ginawa nila sa amin noon na winawater cannon kami, mangyayari ulit. Yung sa pilitan kaming papaalisin. O sa susunod, baka baril na yung kami, dala-dala nila. Sana naman po wag mo mangyari kasi mahirap. Yung siyempre kami, hindi naman kami sanay sa pagkikipaglaban. Ang sa amin, hanap buhay naman po.
Despite the interference, the Philippine vessel managed to deliver supplies to 19 fishing boats.
So on February 15, BRP Dato Tamblot successfully reached Bajo de Masinloc to assist Filipino fishers operating in the area and was able to complete a part of its mission by supplying fuel, food, medicine, and other necessities to Filipino fishers. In summary, ang naibigay po ng ating vessel doon sa mga mangingisda po ng Baho de Masinloc, 14,000 liters of diesel fuel, 60 liters of motor oil, and other provisions were provided to 21 commercial fishing boats.
Scarborough Shoal is located 240 kilometers west of the Philippines' main island of Luzon. The latest incident underscores the ongoing tensions in the South China Sea and the challenges faced by Filipino fishermen.
Masakit po talaga, ma'am, kasi yung paghanap buhay namin mangisda, alang-alang po sa pamilya namin para makakain po. Eh ngayon, binubugaw, wala na kaming magawa. Anong gagawin namin?
Kasi yung mga Chinese na yan, dito na naglalagi yan sila eh. Kumbaga sila yung nag-ahari dito sa Scarborough.
While the Philippines delivered supplies successfully this time, the larger issue of territorial disputes and harassment remains unresolved.
Nahirapan kami, 2 linggo na, wala pang isang tonelada yung huli namin. Eh ngayon, pag tapos namin mabigyan ng diesel ng BIPAR, maraming salamat sa BIPAR. Pag bigyan kami mamaya, tatakbo po kami ng steward dito sa 16117 sa laot ng Cato Infanta.
Well, ang Philippine government is not yet satisfied sa nangyayari na to sa Baho de Masinloc. The reason why our national government has directed to the National Security Advisor, the Philippine Coast Guard and the Bureau of Fisheries and Aquatic Resources to have this rotational deployment. This is in response with what had happened nito mga unang araw ng taon kung saan ang mga Pilipino mangingisda ay naharas ng Chinese Coast Guard.
The Philippine government is taking action to investigate reports of illegal fishing practices in the Baho de Masinloc area, also known as the Scarborough Shoal. Now, reports claim that Chinese and Vietnamese fishermen are using cyanide, a toxic substance, to stun fish in the Baho de Masinloc, which disrupts the delicate marine ecosystem and harms Filipino fisherfolk.
Sinasabi, according to Filipino fishermen, yung mga Chinese fishermen, if I'm not mistaken, ay gumagamit po ng cyanide. As well as yung mga Vietnamese fishers, they intentionally destroyed Baho de Masinloc to prevent Filipino fishing boats to fish in the area.
The NTF-WPS has directed BFAR to gather evidence and assess the extent of these alleged illegal activities. This investigation aims to establish facts and identify potential culprits.
So ang sabi po namin sa BFAR, complete the documentation that you have taken, yung mga ebidensya at mga affidavits na makukuha natin. Submit your post-mission report to the National Task Force West Philippine Sea. We will investigate this report, and if validated, pwede po natin itong i-forward sa Department of Justice at sa Office of the Solicitor General, because sila po ngayon yung gumagawa ng mga hakbang para mapalakas yung pinaplano nating pagsasampa ng kaso sa kung saang mang tribunal for environmental degradation.
Recognizing the threat to the livelihoods and safety of Filipino fisherfolk, the government has deployed Philippine Coast Guard and BFAR vessels to patrol the area particularly. This enhanced presence aims to deter illegal fishing and ensure the security of Filipinos working in the Baho de Masinloc. This effort aligns with President Marcos Jr.'s Bagong Pilipinas vision, which emphasizes food security as a cornerstone of national development, sustainable fishing practices, and responsible management of marine resources are crucial elements of this vision. Lawmakers in the House of Representatives are taking a step towards ending the debate on charter change approaches. They have filed a resolution mirroring the Senate's proposal, hoping to reach an agreement before the Catholic Holy Week break. The House Resolution RBH 7 is almost identical to the Senate's RBH 6, authored by Senate President Zubiri.
Those provisions that we placed here in resolution of both houses number 7 are the same provisions that the Senate also filed with their RBH number 6. Wala pong pagkakaiba. Kung ano po yung economic provision na gusto ng ating mga senador na baguhin sa ating saligang batas, yun rin po ang mga provision na nilagay namin sa resolution of both houses number 7.
Both sides want to expedite the process of amending the Constitution, particularly economic provisions. Key concerns include the 60-40 ownership restrictions in various industries, seen as prohibitive for foreign investment. While the House supports the Senate's proposal, it expresses concern about the Senate's planned national roadshow, highlighting its own completed consultations.
It would be proper that the Committee of the Whole, lahat po ng miyembro ng Kongreso ay mapag-usapan ito at i-elevate yung level of discourse and discussion and debate dun sa usapin na sa aming paniwala ay maaaring makatulong sa ating ekonomiya.
If you will look at the Senate's strategy, subcommittee, committee, roadshow, plenary, kayo na po ang mag-discuss. Kayo na po, in your mind, why? Kami, we feel that this should be discussed exhaustively. This should be expedited based on due process because we feel there's a need, no? The fact that we respect the way they're doing it now, but you will see the sense of urgency in the House in this case because we really feel that the country needs it.
The administration reiterates its focus on amending economic provisions alone, emphasizing urgency due to the outdated nature of the current system.
May suggestion na nga with RBS 7, Committee of the Whole House. So, we will not dilly-dally on that. We will work double time, overtime, if there's a need to. That's the character of the House of Representatives. We always act with a sense of urgency.
Ito po ay hindi para sa mga congressmen, hindi po ito para sa mga senador, para po ito sa mga taong bayan. What we only want is to uplift the lives, the quality of life of Filipinos. That is all. Yung sinasabi ng mga senador na baka i-abolish sila, there is no truth to the matter. We are a bicameral legislature and will always remain a bicameral legislature. We want to make it clear that there is no plan to abolish the Senate.
In a move highlighting closer ties between North Korea and Russia, reports emerged today that President Vladimir Putin gifted a Russian-made car to North Korean leader Kim Jong-un. And this comes amidst ongoing concerns about weapons deals and sanctions violations. North Korean state media announced that Kim received a car from Putin for his personal use. The specific model remains undisclosed, but Kim is known for his fondness of luxury cars. Now, this gift follows Kim's visit to Russia last year and coincides with a visit by Russian tourists to North Korea. The timing of the gift raises eyebrows, coinciding with accusations from the U.S. and South Korea that North Korea has been supplying weapons to Russia for its war in Ukraine in exchange for assistance with its satellite program. Now, Kim's car acceptance might violate UN sanctions targeting the North's nuclear and missile programs. Kim's powerful sister, Yo Jong, said, quote, "The gift serves as a clear demonstration of the special personal relations between the top leaders of the two countries." While the car itself might seem like a harmless gesture, it raises questions about the broader implications of this growing alliance. Shock and outrage continue to reverberate across Russia following the death of Kremlin critic Alexei Navalny. The 47-year-old anti-corruption crusader passed away in a remote Arctic prison colony, leaving behind a trail of questions and accusations. Navalny had been serving a 2.5-year sentence for alleged embezzlement, widely seen as politically motivated. Concerns about his health grew steadily due to reports of inadequate medical care and suspected poisoning in 2020. His sudden death in such isolated conditions fueled suspicion of foul play. Yulia Navalny, in a powerful online message, directly accused President Putin of ordering her husband's death.
Сегодня в первый раз на этом канале я хочу обратиться к вам. Меня не должно было быть на этом месте. Я не должна была записывать это видео. На моем месте должен быть другой человек. но этого человека убил Владимир Путин. 3 дня назад Владимир Путин убил моего мужа Алексея Навального. Путин убил отца моих детей. Путин отнял самое дорогое, что у меня было, самого близкого и самого любимого человека. Но еще Путин отнял Навального у вас, где-то в колонии на Крайнем Севере, за полярным кругом, в вечной зиме. Путин убил не просто человека Алексея Навального, он вместе с ним захотел убить наши надежды, нашу свободу, наше будущее. Уничтожить и свести на нет лучшее доказательство того, что Россия может быть другой. Что мы сильные, что мы отважные, что мы верим и отчаянно боремся и хотим жить по-другому.
She vowed to continue his fight against corruption and expose the truth behind his demise.
Мы знаем, из-за чего конкретно Путин убил Алексея 3 дня назад. Мы скоро вам об этом расскажем. Мы обязательно узнаем и то, кто именно и как именно исполнил это преступление. Мы назовем фамилии и покажем лица.
Her claims resonated with many, sparking protests and memorials across Russia.
Я пришла почтить память Алексея Навального. Я хочу, чтобы продолжалось его дело, и он жив в нашей памяти, этот светлый лучик в нашей жизни. И мы будем чтить его память и продолжать его дело.
Authorities' refusal to release Navalny's body for an independent autopsy further fueled public anger. Citing an ongoing investigation, they plan to hold a close autopsy, raising concerns about transparency and potential evidence tampering.
Следователи сказали адвокатам и матери Алексея, что тело они не отдадут, и на протяжении ближайших 14 дней будет вестись химическая проверка, исследование, и под этим предлогом тело не будут выдавать, тело не покажут.
Despite the risk of arrest, thousands across Russia have gathered in spontaneous memorials and rallies honoring Navalny and demanding answers. In response, authorities launched a nationwide crackdown, detaining nearly 400 people over the weekend. Western leaders and human rights organizations have strongly condemned Navalny's death, urging a transparent investigation and calling for the release of his body.
Today we will have here with us his wife, Yulia Navalny, who will send a message, a political message, about how to support the opposition, the political opposition inside Russia against Putin's regime. You see, during this weekend, many people have been demonstrating in the streets of Russia, St. Petersburg and Moscow, in spite of repression. Many of them have been detained and condemned.
U.S. President Joe Biden is considering additional sanctions on Moscow.
We already have sanctions moving and we're considering additional sanctions, yes.
Analysts believe Navalny's death serves as a chilling message to the West, demonstrating Putin's willingness to eliminate opposition figures with impunity, even as the country nears presidential elections.
It's a way of demonstrating to the West that he's willing to do anything that he wants. Even at the time when elections are so close, he's not worried that this will have any sort of repercussions for him because he's confident that he has killed any opposition voices really inside Russia. So I think in terms of the implications, the West should probably take this as a message and as an indication that any attempts to give some sort of concessions to Putin will only backfire, because this is a regime that is willing to continue and to follow the strategy that they have been following for years and decades now. And I think it will only get worse because Putin is becoming increasingly vulnerable and insecure about his war effort in Ukraine, and that makes him extremely careful and extremely paranoid, I would say, when it comes to domestic issues in Russia.
Tensions remain high following the death of Russian opposition leader Alexei Navalny amidst international pressure and accusations. Russia's ambassador to the UN, Vasily Nebenzia, addressed the matter during a press conference today.
Can you explain to the people around the world who are watching this, why are the Russian authorities not handing over his body? Do you have something to hide?
Well, I think that the reason is simple, because the forensic medical investigation is not over yet. The exact cause of the death was not yet disclosed, while our Western colleagues rushed to claim 15 minutes after it happened, after the news were published, that this was the responsibility of the Putin's regime, etc., etc.
He strongly rejected claims by Western nations that the Russian government was responsible for Navalny's death, calling them baseless accusations made without evidence.
Western political leaders lined up with accusations in as little as 15 minutes after the first reports of the passing away of Alexei Navalny were published. And all this in the absence of any detailed information, let alone a forensic medical examination. It is as if the statements were prepared in advance.
Get ready to take flight in the Philippines. German firm Lilium is teaming up with PhilJets to bring its all-electric flying cars to the archipelago, marking the first such network in Southeast Asia. Lilium, known for its vertical takeoff and landing or eVTOL jets, will partner with PhilJets to establish a network here in the country. And this collaboration aims to connect thousands of islands with high-speed, sustainable air travel. The Philippines, with its growing economy and tourism industry, is seen as a perfect launch pad for this futuristic technology. PhilJets is eyeing an initial purchase of 10 Lilium jets, highlighting its commitment to green aviation practices. Beyond the Philippines, the partnership aims to expand to Cambodia and other ASEAN nations. The companies will work together on infrastructure development, including establishing landing sites or vertiports across the region. Sebastian Borrell, Lilium Chief Commercial Officer, said, and I quote, "Bringing the Lilium jet to Southeast Asia is a major step. The Philippines, with its unique geography, is ideal for connecting islands through sustainable air mobility." As my usual habit, I'd like to end the day on a positive note. Let's encourage and build each other up so that no one is left behind. And that's it for tonight's broadcast. I'm Alma Angeles. Stay in the news because we live in extraordinary times. Good night.